Hello, thank you for joining us. This week marks 8 months since all children were able to return to school. But pupils, teachers and parents are still dealing with the consequences of months of lost learning due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And it seems as though children in Yorkshire are faring worse than those in other parts of the country. Now, there has been a recent report. Let's take a look at some of it, shall we? It showed that secondary pupils in Yorkshire and the Humber were almost 3 months behind on their reading skills going into the summer holidays. But if we look at London, teenagers were found to be hardly behind at all on their reading. In maths, primary school pupils in Yorkshire, they were almost 2/3 behind, 2 months behind even. But in the southwest, the situation was much better. However, there is some good news. The report says primary pupils in Yorkshire have made the greatest progress in catching up on their reading. They were only 2 weeks behind at the start of the summer holidays, which is far better than the national average of almost a month. So why are there such regional disparities in levels of lost learning, and what's been done to help pupils catch up? Glucksby Gopal has been finding out.
Right, eyes this way, everybody.
Next tonight, the government has vowed to step in if Yorkshire County Cricket Club and the ECB fail to take real action in response to the racism crisis promoted by the allegations made by Azim Rafiq. The Culture Minister has said the case must be a watershed moment for cricket. Tanya is outside Headingley for us tonight, and there's been some breaking news in the last half hour from Yorkshire. What more can you tell us, Tanya?
Yes, the club.
Keeping with cricket, meanwhile, players from Bradford who took part in a BBC documentary 27 years ago which explored accusations of racism in the game say very little has changed. They think the grassroots game has made huge strides forward, but they're disappointed by the lack of progress for Asian and black players at the highest level. Corinne Wheatley has been to meet them. Well, as world leaders meet in Glasgow to discuss the way to reduce carbon emissions, Drax Power Station, once dubbed the most polluting in Western Europe, is on the verge of giving up burning coal. Now, this will be the last winter the power station near Selby uses coal to generate electricity. From next year, it will run on biomass wood pellets instead. But using felled trees as fuel, well, that raises other green issues. Here's our business correspondent, Spencer Stokes. An autistic man who spent 15 years in a mental health unit has finally moved home to Doncaster following a long campaign by his mother. Ryan Clark was just 17 when he was detained after self-harming. The National Autistic Society has told Look North it's an outrage that hundreds of autistic people are in hospitals rather than just being supported in the community. Our social affairs correspondent Emma Glasby has this report. A 23-year-old from Bradford could soon be on his way to the USA to become an American footballer. Now, despite never playing a match in his life, Jacob Smiley, a former professional rugby player, he's the only man from Yorkshire to be chosen for this year's NFL International Combine, a scouting event looking for the best new talent from around the world. And they found him, as Dave Edwards reports. And finally this evening, I'm sure you remember it, 7 marathons in 7 days. Rugby star Kevin Sinfield, well, he's at it again, preparing to lace up his trainers for an epic challenge in aid of motor neurone disease research. This time, Kevin will be attempting to run 101 miles in just 24 hours. God. Such a special friendship that, isn't it, between Kevin and Rob. Best of luck to Kevin. He starts his challenge a week on Monday, and that's when he'll end in Leeds, of course, because he's setting off from Leicester. Goodness me, 101 miles in 24 hours.
I did the Sheffield Half Marathon and couldn't walk for a week, so, I mean, goodness me.
You won't be joining Kevin Sinfield then?
No, definitely next week, Amy.
Thank you. Think it'll be a nice sunrise in the morning. Is it worth me getting up for?
Probably not.
Oh. I'll stay in bed a bit longer then. Thanks for that. Dave Edwards with the lates at 10:30. Bye-bye.